The new Guardians Volume 3 trailer just dropped and I'm excited and scared at the same freaking time. My hype level's through the roof. This trailer showed a lot more than I expected. We have what looks like Half-World, Human, Counter-Earth, High Evolutionary, Adam Warlock, and James Gunn finally delivering on the finale of his popular Marvel opus before jumping ship to DC Studios.
Get off my plane.
And from the looks of it, the Guardians will look completely different by the end, so we'll have to break it all down. Let's go!
I'm done running.
The trailer starts off with the Marvel logo transitioning to Peter Quill's tape deck on board the Milano. The design is similar to each volume's audio soundtrack cassette tapes, and we see Peter on board the Bowie, which is the latest main ship of the Guardians after the Benatar. Both of their ships, of course, named after pop stars like Milano for Alyssa Milano, Pat Benatar, and now Bowie after David Bowie. The ship also has its comic book origins, but that gets blown up by Zeus, so never mind. Anyone else notice the propulsion tech looks similar to the Maz Q ship? Like this is the miniature version. Let's hope this one makes it through. Never mind. We see the boat flying across Earth. It looks like the Statue of Liberty right there, and we see it land on a suburb. The Guardians step out, then you see the inhabitants.
Come on, Drax. Seriously, dude? No! Ow!
This may be the MCU version of Counter-Earth. This is the High Evolutionary's version of a purer Earth inhabited by his new men. These are artificial, human-sized, mutagenically altered animals living in societies just like Earth. He actually hit it by making it out of dimensional sync for a microsecond. Might be the reason the Guardians are just learning about this place. There's a scene of the Bowie breaking some sort of barrier, so that might be them finding Counter-Earth or the Organic Citadel later on. On the other hand, mutates like Rocket come from a place called Half-World in the Keystone Quadrant. They were created by sentient robots to take care of the loonies. Well, at least in the comics. They look more like talking animals than anything else really. In the film, it seems the High Evolutionary created both the new men and Half-World mutates. Certainly the trailer heavily implies Evolutionary's hand in Rocket's origin, with a scene grabbing him as a small raccoon. Rocket, as director James Gunn has put it in the past, has one of the most saddest stories of all time, and we'll probably see it here. Rocket was subjected to torturous experimentation at the hands of the maniacal High Evolutionary. In another trailer shown at San Diego Comic-Con, lab instruments are shown, like there's this one buzzsaw-like device, and I can definitely see some form of flashback taking place in the film. We also see Lyla in the trailer too. She's Rocket's soulmate, possibly his wife in the past. She's a mutate, and from the looks of it, was also subject of experimentation. She has a cybernetic arm as a result. The High Evolutionary was a human geneticist named Herbert Wyndham, taking inspiration from Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, and performed his own genetic experiments involving rats in his parents' basement. He has since transcended humanity, having discovered the means to propel evolution instantaneously via his genetic accelerator machine. Using the accelerator on himself, he amplified his intelligence 1,000-fold and gained superhuman abilities. And thanks to his armor's automatic evolutionizer equipment, he's virtually unkillable, becoming more godlike than human. Now he seeks a further human evolution by any means necessary. In the film, the High Evolutionary is played by Peacemaker's Shigeruki Iwuji. This here is also directed by James Gunn, who we also see a close-up of in the footage as well, in front of a weird human-sized running wheel. The person running seems to be smiling. There's a chance test subjects lose their mind. Initial voiceover by Peter says,
"We're gone for quite a while. But no matter what happens next, the galaxy still needs its guardians."
And the team has been busy, as seen in Thor: Love and Thunder. Going back to the suburb scene, Peter says, "We mean you no harm," assuring the new men as they are the aliens in this situation. By the way, the team is wearing their OG Guardians red and blue uniform. Finally, we're not sure what they're doing here. They might be looking for someone. The group looks short of two members, namely Gamora, who we know left by the end of the battle with Thanos, and now, as seen in other footage, leads her own Ravager faction. The other being Rocket, who's noticeably missing from most of the other scenes. More on that in a second. This is a James Gunn film, so music, specifically the 1995 song In the Meantime by Spacehog. Band frontrunner Royston Langdon says, quote, "It's me trying to reach people, and I think that's also me talking to myself, getting through my one anxieties and fear of death." Not dissimilar to the Flaming Lips song Do You Realize, which deals with the inevitability of death. This is also the main soundtrack of the first trailer shown in SDCC. Both of these are quite on the nose on the casualties for the film. We got it, James. Speaking of demise, it has been confirmed that there will be multiple deaths in the movie. However, it wasn't specified who. Some reports have gone on to say they filmed different fake ones should any leakage occur. In any case, based on this trailer, they're kinda leaning towards Rocket. Specifically, there's a scene of him that looks near death. You know, that one where he's talking about going away one last time. Also, some of the cybernetic sockets on his face are showing like someone shaved off that part of his fur to plug in or something. So he might have been abducted and experimented on further by the Evolutionary at some point. There's a scene of the team agreeing to do something and Drax is really pissed off. Peter apparently is the mature one, showing a moral compass. It's like they're going on a rescue mission. Take note, in the past, Rocket is usually the morally ambiguous one of the group, and he's the one going back and forth like this with Peter. Take that what you will, but to me, it might be foreshadowing something down the line. We see an injured Drax being carried by Mantis and Gamora with a giant singe on his chest right there. Peter seems to be carrying Nebula there too. Dave Bautista has been pretty vocal on the end of his journey with Drax, so we might get that here. Couple these with scenes of Peter shouting in distress, and there's another scene where Groot and Peter are back to back, which is actually a callback to the prison escape scene of Groot and Rocket in the first movie. But there's a possibility someone else bites the dust. In the other trailer, there was a footage of Nebula beaten up and Mantis was crying. So it's pretty clear who's gonna bite the dust at this point. I just don't want to believe it. After the team gets stoned by the new men, we see Peter isolated and listening to music. This might be alluding something once again, or him just missing Gamora. We do know her time-displaced variant will join the team. Then we see a vague hand trying to grab a very scared looking Raccoon, which is me right about now trying to think about what's gonna go down in the film. Mantis then says, "Remember where they came from," probably referring to Ego, their father. As it turns out, she's his half-sister. Wait, did I not say spoilers? Spoilers.
You're just an asshole.
Next, a scene of them in multicolored spacesuits jump towards this cancery-looking space station. This space station might be the citadel of the High Evolutionary. We get a close-up shot of it, and it looks, well, it looks like a butthole. James Gunn put a giant asshole in his finale. I love this guy. This is probably where the Evolutionary tries to crack the genetic code, looking for an opening through which to grab the full human potential. Thank you very much. Next, Gamora stares at a Polaroid picture, probably her variant, with Peter. Next, we see the team in Knowhere. Peter being carried by Nebula for some reason. We see Kraglin and Cosmo there as well. We know from the holiday special that they bought Knowhere from the Collector and are currently trying to patch it up. This is going to be the Guardians' new headquarters, so they have weekly meetings and stuff, maybe a recruitment center for new members. For elaborate parties, you know, that kind of place. Let's hope it doesn't burn down again. In another trailer, they put up the golden logo of the Guardians. Yep, that's gonna be a neon sign for the HQ just with alien letters, making the Guardians an official space police kind of organization, patrolling sectors and safeguarding the galaxy. Pretty much Green Lanterns of the Marvel Universe. Cosmo the Space Dog has been reintroduced here, helping out Rocket with her telekinetic powers. Based on the Soviet dog Lyla in the 50s, in the comics, Cosmo was lost in space shortly after being launched into Earth's orbit by the Soviet space program. At some point, he was mutated by cosmic rays and eventually wound up in Knowhere, where he eventually became the station's security chief. In the MCU, she was initially seen in the first Guardians movie wearing a helmet, but wasn't utilized until the special. Seems Cosmo has a considerably extended lifespan as well, especially for a dog. Then Peter and the rest of the Guardians are in a burning place. Rocket says he's through running, not sure where at this point, but this could be Knowhere. This might be the last time the Guardians are complete, banding together to take down Big Daddy.
Let's go!
Also, there's something following the team. It's pretty vague, but to me it looks like a loth cat from one of the Star Wars animated shows. Or maybe it's another eccentric Wyndham experiment. We'll just have to wait and see. The Guardian seems to be escaping the space citadel here. All of them are wearing orange underwear, probably ventilation garments for these spacesuits from an earlier scene of them spacewalking into this place. The architecture inside seems to resemble a lot of Ego's constructs, which might indicate Wyndham messing around with celestial biology. This theory would also back up Knowhere getting destroyed, as the Evolutionary might be after the entire head to further his work. Also, notice these guys floating around. The Guardians movie seems to have this thing about using gravity against their enemies. Cole first used it in Morag, Nova Corps prison as well, then the forest scene with Rocket. Here it might be the same thing. They might have grab boots on, just like those worn in Star Trek 6. And Jean-Luc and Worf on the hull of the Enterprise to kill the Borg. Yeah, Star Trek reference. Next scene, we see Peter grab someone wearing a lab coat. The Evolutionary often hires technicians, mercenaries, and scientists to help create his various machines. Outside, it looks like a crystalline structure, probably an observation deck or a research facility above Counter Earth. Next, Peter and an adolescent group running away from a crashing Bowie. Nebula and the team partying in Knowhere, probably after completion of this station. This is probably where Peter passes out. Instrument covered in oof juice, we might witness some of the most horrendous experimentation happen in the film. Next, Peter shouting, then Rocket and Lyla hug it out. Notice Rocket's facial fur is similar to the one where he's talking about going away together, so this might be after that. Mantis, Nebula, and Drax running to a hole in the wall gets then cut off by the dimensional beast we saw at the start of Guardians 2. Evolutionary might be keeping one as a guard dog. Then finally, Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter, makes an appearance in all his glory. Adam Warlock was created as the perfect sovereign and has been cooking since the end of Guardians Volume 2. He is an extremely powerful being due to his unique engineered biological makeup. In the comics, him, as he was previously called, was created by the Enclave, genetically engineered to be the perfect and the next evolution of humanity. He rebelled from his creators and came into contact with the High Evolutionary, and he gave him purpose, direction, and his name, Adam Warlock. He was also at one point in possession of the Soul Gem. He also became a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy at some point, so there's a chance that might happen by the end of the film. Here we see him in what looks like Knowhere beating on Nebula. He might also be wearing a cape like his comic book counterpart. Then Rocket in some white location. From the looks of it, this is before he was experimented on during his capture. Then the back-to-back scene of Star-Lord and Groot, we learned that the quad blasters are actually a gift from Yondu during the special. I like how Groot uses his abdomen as additional limbs. This scene precedes the one where Peter jumps out with the lab coat. You can see some of them on the ground right there. They're probably shooting at security forces of the station. After the neon sign logo right here, we see the team prepping for the mission, and Drax is super pumped, wanting to off whoever's in their way. We'll have to wait summer next year to find out. That's it for me, guys. Super hyped for this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content there, and see you on the next one.